John King, USA, CNN, weeknights 7 Eastern.
Joanne, you've met Rupert Murdoch several times. I want you to listen here briefly how he acknowledges pretty clearly here that this is not his best day.
I would just like to say one sentence. This is the most humble day of my life.
The most humble day of his life. As someone who has met him, as someone who understands his empire, what to you was the most significant thing that he said or that happened today?
Well, the most interesting thing, I think, today is that the Rupert Murdoch who we saw testifying was, as you pointed out, really at odds with the Rupert Murdoch who I and many, many other people have experienced over the years. And that is, he generally is very charismatic and funny, and he's always the most powerful person in the room. This is a man who, when you go to the Davos World Economic Forum, which is a forum for world leaders and executives, when he walks into the room, they all turn and watch him. So to see this man physically looking depleted, just not even looking like himself, and then for him to be saying, you know, I didn't know. I have 52,000 people working for me. I just really, how could I possibly know? It was really very much at odds with this guy. The other thing is, you know, Murdoch is legendary for his command of the details, particularly in his newspaper empire. He pretty famously said when he bought the Wall Street Journal, one of the first things he said is, this newspaper has too many editors, and I know because I calculated that every piece of copy is touched by 8.3 editors. Now, that man with that command of detail is not at all the man we saw today on the stand.
In terms of the legacy of a very proud man, you mentioned his appearances at Davos. He has built this empire overseas here in the United States. He takes great pride in his empire. What has this done to the legacy of Rupert Murdoch?
You know what? I think one of the most key things that he said the entire day today was when he said, no, I will not resign because I am the one who is best prepared to clean this up. And I think that he really feels he did build this company. His father left him a small newspaper. He built it over 57 years into this massive empire. And it was almost poignant today when he spoke about his father. And his father was not a rich man, but he was a great journalist. And then he spoke about how he wanted to be able to then leave the company to his own children, to his daughters and his sons, should they want to be involved. And I think that that's foremost in his mind. It's interesting, while everyone in the room was focused very narrowly on the hacking and on the wrongdoing at the newspapers, I think that Rupert Murdoch was most likely focused on the much bigger, longer-term picture, which is what will be his legacy and protecting that legacy. He did pull his company back from the brink. 20 years ago, he came very, very close to the edge financially. He overextended. He was deeply in debt. And he renegotiated with his bankers. He was, with his characteristic tenacity, he dug in there. He sold publications. He was tremendously successful in bringing it back from the brink. But that was 20 years ago, and he's now an 80-year-old man who really wants to make sure that his legacy is preserved and that he can pass that along to his children.